Hey friends, in today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at something that I feel like has been happening for quite a few people out there. And perhaps you are one of those people. And this is a situation in that someone in your family or a close friend has recently almost just dropped out of your life. So in a nutshell, it's like you've been ghosted. So we're going to ask the help and advice of the Light Seers Tarot deck today. In addition to that, I'm going to be pulling a couple of oracle cards from the Sacred Creators deck. And I'm going to be doing a traditional Celtic cross for this reading. And then at the end, I'll pull a couple of oracle cards to help clarify the messages that we receive. So let's see what we can find out. I'm going to spread the cards here, clear the energy of the deck from any prior readings. And when a card makes itself known as such, I always take it out because I know that it is meant to be the first card in our reading. So the message I got from the universe today was to talk about a relationship in more of the framework of a friendship or former friendship or a family member that you're no longer in contact with and you really don't know why. Like, again, you've been somewhat ghosted by this person who really meant a lot to you. Okay, we've got the Eight of Swords that came out for us in the present situation position. And this is really so spot on because what this is showing me is two very different realities. So there was the relationship as it had originally existed. And then there's the reflection, and it's like the direct opposite of the original situation. And this is showing the restriction and the disconnect that has happened in this relationship and the confusion around why and the thoughts that are swirling around it that are unanswered largely. Now, as to the challenge and or influence of the situation, and we've got the Ace of Cups that's come out here. So to me, this is definitely speaking to the fact that this relationship once was bound by affection, deep affection, and it was well in hand. And there was always this feeling of never-ending freshness, as though it would just continue to renew itself and would always be static. So this core, this center of love, is presenting the challenge now because that feeling is apparently no longer there on the part of this other individual. Or again, that is how it appears. That is the feeling that we are dealing with as we go forward. All right, so let's go ahead and pick our next couple of cards for this spread. Alrighty, let's see if we can take a look at the root cause of this issue. And we've got the Six of Pentacles out here. And this is telling me that the balance in this relationship may have gone off course. And this is not, pointing a finger of blame at either party. But when the Six of Pentacles comes up, and again, sometimes this refers to situations with money, but I don't get that impression here. I don't feel like this was a financial issue. The sense I'm getting here is that one or the other of you was feeling like you weren't getting out of this relationship what you were putting into it. All right, immediate future, Eight of Wands. This is interesting. Okay, so to me, this is saying that within your spirit, there's a desire for you to move past this. And whether that be that the relationship repairs or not, your spirit is guiding you to just keep going and, not to get kind of like trapped up in this. So right now you do have this sense that whatever becomes of this relationship, like if this person just never comes back into your life, you're going to be okay. I feel as if it isn't ideal this way for you. It's not the way you want to see it happen. But, let's see what the other cards have to say. We'll go ahead and pull a couple of more. All right, so let's see what's going on above you right now. Four of Cups. This is definitely intriguing to me because what I'm seeing here is that, generally speaking, you want balance, you want that balance back, because the 4 is speaking to the balance that the 6 was saying was off. So yeah, ideally you would like to have balance in this relationship. But is there a part of you that in a perfect world would definitely still want to change something about how this relationship worked? So while yes, you want that balance to come back, there are other things about this relationship I feel like that would have to change in order for this to be a relationship with future longevity. All right, now what's going on below the surface here? So we've got the Hermit. This is exactly what I would be expecting right now. So there's some soul searching that you're doing, and you've kind of been wanting to just sit quietly with this whole issue and to see what it means to you. Like, what does it really mean to have this person no longer be in your life? What are you missing out on, if you are missing out on anything? And you're kind of wanting to look at the bigger picture right now. And again, not only just to figure out what happened with this relationship, but how is it affecting you on a deeper level? Okay, so I wanted to switch to the overhead view since we're going to be building up on the cross now and give us some more room to work here, because we're going to pull an advice card next and work our way up. And for now, what I'm seeing though is direct confirmation that this is something for you that's definitely kind of affected your heart in a way as well. You know, that 4 of Cups really speaks to that sort of that emptiness in your heart that you're feeling over the loss of this relationship. So that's real, and I want to acknowledge that for you guys because I can feel that going on for you. So there is a bit of melancholy over, you know, the fact that this person is no longer or has no longer chosen to, you know, be in touch with you. I feel as though right, wrong, or indifferent, when someone just kind of drops out of our lives, it affects us. Even if that person wasn't like a perfect friend or a perfect relative, you know, you're still missing that connection on an emotional level. So what advice does the universe have for us? 9 of Cups. So the attainment of love is definitely important to you. And will this relationship ever get to that place? We don't know. We haven't pulled the outcome card as of yet, but the universe is suggesting that in one way, shape, or form, we continue to seek out that which will fill our hearts and will bring us a sense of completion. And it isn't, we don't have that completion as of yet right now. It isn't there for us, but that you don't give up on it. You know, let it remain a priority. Let it be important to you regardless of what happens here. So what external factors are coming into play with this one, guys? So what might be influencing this situation? We've got the 8 of Pentacles. So I'm feeling as though this person has sort of moved out of that feeling of, you know, this emotional bond, and they're coming from a place of this pragmatic way of thinking. Again, with that balance, I feel as though they're looking at things in like a checks and balances sort of mindset, and they're kind of approaching, or they have approached this friendship or relationship that you had from almost like a calculating position. Like, how is this working for me? Or how is this relationship working for me? Like, that would be something that they were saying, and they weren't so sure if it was benefiting them anymore. So yeah, I'm definitely getting the message here that for this person, this relationship that you once had moved out of one being centered around the heart and spirit and passion and emotion, and moved into something that was definitely more clinical for them. And that was definitely not the case for you. So again, with that 6 of Pentacles, things were out of balance even in what each of you wanted out of the relationship. I mean, it could have started out one way and then, you know, somebody changed. And I'm having a feeling it wasn't you. I really don't think it was you. Not pointing fingers of blame, but I feel as though this person, you know, there was a shift in this person's perspective, and they went from being very connected to you in an emotional way to being less emotionally drawn to you or to the relationship itself. So let's see what our next 2 cards have to offer us here. All right, hopes and fears. What have we got? We've got the Two of Pentacles. Again, very interesting to me that the Pentacles are coming up here. And this is a choice card. And obviously, depending on how you're feeling, if you are feeling still emotional and still connected to this person, your hope would be that they make the choice to somehow work toward a reparation of the relationship or the friendship, whatnot. And the fear would be that they would choose to just let it go. And, again, that balance, it's just really talking about that balance here being just missing at this point. And I definitely also want to throw in there that even though I don't think this is like a financial issue, a financial based problem between you guys, I do feel as though with this Pentacles that keeps coming up, this person may also have some kind of a problem with what you have versus what they have. So now let's see what the outcome card has to say. So we've got the Judgment card here, guys. And this speaks to evolvement for you, to your higher self. So ultimately what's going to happen is this experience is going to be a growth experience for you. And you're going to end up a better version, a more authentic version of who you are. And I see the release of something that you were keeping inside of yourself, that for whatever reason you didn't feel you could allow to come out. So there's going to be a freedom and emancipation for you. So even though it may feel to you as though you've been rejected or dumped or whatever, the universe is saying that this experience is meant to bring you closer to who you truly are inside. Many times when we are in relationships, friendships, family dynamics, and things of that sort, we tend to keep some parts of ourselves hidden because, we're not exactly sure that each thing about us will be accepted. And the message I'm getting here is that in this particular relationship, there were definitely things that you felt as though you had to keep to yourself. And that was holding you down on some level. And so you weren't truly complete and whole within that relationship. So I'm going to ask for some additional guidance from the Oracle now. We'll pull a couple of cards here and see what they have to say. All right, let's see what the first message is for us today. Okay, it says choose who you are becoming. So this is a transformation time for you. Evidently, the universe knows it, because what it is saying is that with all of this that has been happening for you, with the fact that this person is no longer choosing to be in your life, you get to choose now who you become. Because with every choice, there's an effect. And I feel like at your core, it's time for you to choose who you want to be now. And perhaps this person on some level may have been holding you back or may have been forcing you into a box that you no longer fit into. And now you get to choose. You get to choose where you stand, what you reveal, where your spirit soars. There's just so much that could be available to you now. That, again, with that spirit wanting to just be free. And there's a lot of practicality and choice that now you can choose to make. So they're talking to that choice with the Two of Pentacles. You get to choose now. You get to decide who you want to be, what will be happening at your core, and what part of you, what reality, what reflection is going to be that which you see when you look into the mirror, and that which will be your actual reality. Our final message today: fierce serenity. Fierce serenity, and this is so ironic because this was just the card of the day that I chose, totally just at random. Fierce serenity. And what this is telling you is that the universe wants your peace right now, and that you need your peace, and that if it requires you being fierce in order to get that peace and to get to a place where your spirit is free, you're no longer bound by judgments from others, you need to do what you need to do. And if that means that you allow this person to remain out of your life and you don't take steps to bring them back in, that's okay. It really is all up to you to guard your peace and serenity fiercely and with all of your power. Now, I want to say conversely that I'm not necessarily suggesting that because this person has ghosted you, that you just walk away and accept it. But the message that I'm receiving here today is that this relationship may have been out of balance even for you, and maybe you didn't recognize it, or maybe you just weren't willing to see it. But choose who you are becoming. You know, we are constantly evolving as individuals, and maybe the underlying issue or problem with this relationship was that at your core, you weren't being filled up. You were also out of balance, and you needed that balance, and maybe it wasn't there. I mean, evidently, according to these cards, it wasn't there for this other individual, but it may not have been there for you as well. And if that's the case, sometimes it's better just to, take a closer look, go within before you just make a choice as to whether you're going to go after this relationship and try to save it, or whether or not it's for your best interest, to have this person sort of move along. Now, whether or not this was a friend or a family member, I truly believe that some people are meant to be in our lives for the long haul, and others are meant to come in for a season and for a lesson and to help us learn something. But here with this Ace of Cups, guys, I do feel like your heart is a very important part of what makes you who you are. And you have a choice right now as to whether you want to honor your heart and to determine whether this relationship was actually helping you do that. So friends, whatever comes your way now as a result of this relationship rift, I hope that it brings you closer to your heart, your soul, and to finding peace. Thank you so much for being here today, guys, and please subscribe for more.